open, but a 480 break should take us rocket ship land there for Meta. So I like that trade. I think it's something that will work out for us. Meta on the long. It's already up today. It's beating the market. It's a nice move. Barely up though, only up 0.3, but has a chance to go. Remember, 925, these imbalances are going to come out. So like if Meta comes out a buy, it's going to break that 480 anyways. So these are areas to look at today. I think if we're going to look long, I don't mind Meta, although Meta is an anti-Trump stock, remember. So you have to watch out for that one.
Breaking news from our friends at VinFast. They're building a state-of-the-art electric vehicle plant in Subang, Indonesia. With a $200 million investment, VinFast is creating thousands of jobs and bringing cutting-edge e-SUVs to the Indonesian market. Starting in 2025, the company will produce 50,000 vehicles annually, including popular models like the VF3, VF5, VF6, and VF7. VinFast is driving Indonesia's green transportation future. Join the company on their exciting journey towards a cleaner, more sustainable tomorrow. VinFast, electrifying Southeast Asia, one vehicle at a time. Let's get a look at the overall market here at 9 o'clock.
55.94, Brendo. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES September contract. That was a breach of that support level that we were talking about at 56 1/3. So to the downside right now, let's look at that low that we put in yesterday, 55.75. It also jives with these two crests that we put in early and mid-June. To the high side, if we really start tracing back up, let's use that same support level that we used yesterday as resistance today, 56 1/3.
All right, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you go to the description of this video right now. Hit the link for the watch list, enter your email address, and then you get everything you need to know sent right to your inbox every single day. Absolutely free morning watch list from us to you. CrowdStrike, Microsoft, take your pick. Top of the list this morning, coming off this massive, unexpected overnight outage. Again, if you missed it, it's basically a software update. It sounds like that went horribly wrong. Anything from airlines through to the banking system in some cases affected by this. If you had a flight plan for today and you're just waking up, sorry, it might be delayed, but definitely call ahead and check.
Probably Pearson's having a great time right now. Like they'd never have delays over there without the already added issues. All right, so as Brendo mentioned, the defect stems from an update to CrowdStrike's Falcon sensor product, which is designed essentially to protect against cybersecurity breaches. CrowdStrike has identified the problem. They've isolated it, they've deployed a fix, and they're rolling back the update globally, which is the cause of this whole thing here. As Brendo mentioned, things like Allianz, Ryanair, Visa having issues. I'm hearing individuals in the chat saying the TD app is not working south of the border. So keep your eyes on this one. And I should mention some of their competitors, Brendo, having a decent day today.
Upside. Yeah, no kidding. 300, meanwhile, coming into play here for CRWD, 12% at this point. It was a heck of a lot more. It seems like a lot here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it is always a different when it's not like necessarily a hack. This is a software rollout. This has happened in the past. Microsoft had an issue similar to this, so it probably recovers. I think today, if you were there early enough, obviously 280, where this thing bounced off of really like not late night, but early morning, would have been a good level. I think that's kind of the spot if I'm trading Crowd instead of the normal things that we trade this week. Not usually anything we even look at outside of earnings. If the relief rally somehow gets it up to like the quarters, like some kind of a breakout where this is back to where it doesn't make sense to be trading flat, I think maybe you'd look for a fade. I'm more interested in softy today because if this news hadn't happened at all, I'd be looking at Microsoft 441 anyways, like 440, 441 right in here. Like that was like we basically did like a semi V-shaped recovery halfway down, like underneath resistance, and then right back into 441. So setting it really up that you've got this big level at 440 to 441. Well, I'm more going to look at Microsoft than CrowdStrike. Like I said, I've looked at CrowdStrike during earnings. I probably never traded it. And today, I think it's not necessarily obvious. If there's some kind of big SSR trade at like a 300 level or a 290 level or a 280 where it's coming in and bounces off an even dollar every 10 bucks, that could make sense. But softy at 440, 441 yesterday's close as a fade looks a little bit more likely of a trade for me than anything on CrowdStrike.
Yeah, I would think here on CrowdStrike, although obviously we don't trade it that often, there is down here on the 5-minute chart that I just scanned more on the pre-market here. We had lows here, 280, 287, things like that, that go back into this morning. So I'm thinking that those lows, why are they bought up down there? Hopefully there is some support. So again, when the story hits and we get the first negative reactions, it should have broke there again. So we should have broke this 285, 286 area, and we didn't. So I think a dip down into that area is one worth buying. So 100%, that's an area that's worth it. You give it $5 down to 280, you could get a whole retracement back up and make yourself 3-to-1, $15, maybe even $20 winner here on CrowdStrike today. So I would think that you're gonna have to stand in there and take it because it could fade out in the morning. But I like this 285 spot. I don't really see any reason why you don't trust that. Or you could take a level here, 290-ish. I mean, it's not really clean, but you could take a 290 holding against that as the bottom. But I think if it comes in, you probably want to look at that one more time. So I think a CrowdStrike down here at 285, 290 is worth a look. So for me, CRWD is that name. And then I'll leave Microsoft alone. There are other tech names here. And the sticky note's been out now for a half hour, but there are other names out here that I like, and I did not put Microsoft on here. When there's uncertainty like this, I'd rather just stay away and play names that I'm a little more comfortable with.
CEO of CrowdStrike, you were just mentioning, I was reading, the CEO of CrowdStrike about to come on CNBC here, so we'll hear their side of the story. That's Netflix, meanwhile. Yeah, huge move down after the close yesterday. Goes all the way back to green in the aftermarket, and then we fade out again. When I sat down this morning, it was basically flat, but here we are now up better part of a full percent. I mean, the subscriber number was just off the charts to the upside. You were just making a good point in that. Probably the last time we hear that from them.
Yeah, they've made that clear to us, Brendo, that we're not going to be getting the subs number much anymore because they're growing as a company and now they're going to try to monetize as best as possible those subs. All right, let's talk about how they did because they did quite well here with a few caveats. Revenue, $9.5 billion, 9.56, beating the 9.53. That's decidedly up year over year, 17%. Beautiful move there. Total memberships, as Brendo mentioned, beating that as well, 277 million versus a 274. Net income growing aggressively year over year, 2.15 billion versus the 1.45. That's a good look for them. They're at supported tier where they make more money, 34% year over year growth. And building on that at supported tier comment, they're ending their relationship with Microsoft, which had been helping them monetize and bring in advertising. They're going to do it on their own.
So maybe Netflix is not down this morning.
No, they're not.
Their ads are still running at where they should be. But I think that's going to be the key metric maybe going forward instead of focusing on the subs, what that ad revenue growth side is.
That's where the money's supposed to be, right? Like if that money's got to go somewhere. I mean, linear TV dies, and that ad spend goes somewhere. It's not going to all go to all to Facebook and Google. Meta, I should say. It can't all go to Meta and Google. I mean, maybe it can, but Netflix has got to make some of that money. So the one thing that always or usually happens for Netflix earnings, whether it's big or small, is the day after. Sometimes the opening range just stays the opening range. I'm used to that happening. 640 was support before we came into this. You got the drop down, now you're back above. The way I see it is if it's going to trade inside, maybe look for that to be something. But like on my radar today, I just have a few other names. Like the chips, like yesterday you didn't read much of any, the last 2 days, not yesterday. The last 2 days you didn't really read much of anything but a couple of chip names and then Tesla, like an EV name maybe. And then just really, that was all you had to have. And I feel the same way about today, but that 640 level, if there's a scalpable level and Netflix doesn't break out of the range post-earnings, which it tends to do sometimes, especially when this wasn't an outsized move even in the first place, nor in the second, bounced right off the obvious level at 600 there. So 600 support, which was easy to point out, and then 550, those are two easy levels. It bounced off the former. And if it holds on to $640, I think there might be some scalping on Netflix off that level. But my eyeballs are just going to stick with the chips and a little bit of Tesla, I think, today is a focus with possibility of fading Walgreens. We'll see if Walgreens even lets me in.
Oh, yeah, Walgreens. Yeah, I like that trade better. So I will not be trading Netflix today whatsoever because it had an expected move of 9%. So its move is 1%. So that's a nice story. I'm not like, honestly, I don't have too much opinion on this. When we were sitting here and we saw this dip down in, we had talked about this yesterday. I said if you get to 580, which would be about that 8-9%, and then if you got a little bit lower, I thought it was well worth a buy. Like, I still think first mover advantage. I really, really like Netflix coming through here. And yeah, for me, it's this 560, 550 area that I really, really like. So it has to get down there. I don't think that report does anything like that. You're not going to lose $80 for no reason now. So I would think it's a buy. So my thing here is, you know, traders smarter than I have analyzed these numbers, and right now Netflix is up. So I'm thinking they like the name, considering the market's been hit here recently. Netflix just pulling back and now trying to take back above the 50 period. I like this here at 660. I see we just got a super chat here, so let me figure this out. What's up, B. Davis? Sorry I missed the last 2 days. Whoops, don't put him in timeout. But this is the third time our boy Raider Trader has called the market. I'm talking about major moves. What did Raider Trader say? He comes on every second, third, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll get that confirmed for you, but thank you, Mr. B. Davis. Yeah, I mean, that's why we have these guests on, you know, over and over again. And the thing is this, the most important thing about any of the guests that we have on, you know, and we talked about this with Michael, and I said this, I meant to, you know, when he's on with me on Monday, I'll ask him about Reddit. You know, we talked about this on Monday. It looked like it was breaking out. Then I said to Sharif, like, you never know what's going to happen here in the market, right? So it's like if Reddit takes off and we have a positive market this week, then Reddit's probably at $85 instead of $65. So sometimes, yeah, if you're playing swing names, you have to take in consideration what exactly is going on with the market. Raider Trader, from what I knew, we was talking about some XLE love. That's been really great here. I've been in XLE, buying some more of that name as well. So yeah, calling some of these names, the energy names. I know we talked about that, B. Davis, some of the banks as well. And then the overall market, yeah, nice little downside move. So yeah, we'll find out more. Probably Bears versus Bulls knows when Raider Trader is on. But we have guests throughout the week. So we'll double check that. It's every 2 weeks. I'll get back to you in the chat ASAP.
All right, let's go to ARM real quick for an upgrade from Morgan Stanley this morning. They raised their price target to $190 on ARM. So a nice move higher after the big flush out of the gate yesterday, 162 holding here.
Yeah, this is a good look here. Morgan analyst Lee Simpson bumping this one up to a buy and a price target of $190, basically saying ARM's strategic positioning as well as their growth potential in the edge AI market really gives them a decided advantage here. Their growth is expected to be driven by increased smartphone royalty revenue. They have two streams here, licensing and royalties. They're not the same thing. If you want to invest, you got to look that up. Emerging opportunities in the automotive sector as well, Brendo, and the growth obviously in AI PCs. We saw Microsoft release their new Surface Pro, which includes the ARM chip in it. So we'll have to keep an eye, see how they do.
Yeah. Elsewhere in semiconductor land, a little bit of weakness today. We are starting to climb back up, but I mean, Nvidia was down more than 0.5% to start things off, back to just 0.16 right now.
Nvidia. So I really like. So I'd rather talk about ARM as well. I mean, I have ARM and Nvidia on my mind today, and ARM hasn't. I paid for short, so that's all good. We remembered that one yesterday. We did not, and we could have had
I did too. Nice.
Could have had an absolutely monster trade on ARM yesterday, but I did not have the shares. All right, so here's ARM. Upgraded MS, but be cautious. The reason why I say this is this 160 long, it's on here. I haven't had it on the note for a while, but I thought upgrade. Yep, this is the sticky note. Yep. Upgraded, what did I say? Watch this. Oh, I matched the sticky note. Yeah, this is my shirt today, sponsored by Post-it Notes. Upgrade at Morgan Stanley, TMS. I thought that looked like could get hit. So this is the thing: is I like the upgrade. Morgan Stanley has been horribly wrong on many upgrades. We've talked about their downgrade of Carvana at $5. So the thing about ARM is it's already up a lot, 2.3%. It has faded really nicely. So I feel like this is a great time to buy. It is a great upgrade. I think in all the mobile space, it's the right name in the right space, but is it the right time? So that's where I thought this 160 that I put down, yeah, like I liked it because it was yesterday's top there right at the close where we closed at. But we opened yesterday at 165 and fell to 152. Like I know yesterday was a completely different day, But was it? I mean, the market was just high like we were now, even higher, and faded out. So I mean, that recipe could be in again here today, despite the upgrade. So I feel like I really like this 160 level, but I don't love it. So it's on the sticky note so I can watch that trade. You know, yesterday's close is more in and around that 158. I feel like if you just want to take a couple shares, maybe 160, 50 shares, I don't know, 160 could be a spot. But then 158 is really something that I'd be looking at. So 160, let's see if ARM gets faded into that level. We do have these imbalances coming out. Volume is only 200,000, but it's holding upside. Nice upgrade today. And what I put in the note was, if the market rallies today, then you're going to look like a genius buying some ARM because it's going to go. It's just my faith right now in the market. The fact that we're under the 50-period moving average right now in the NASDAQ, it's not great. Like this top here, and I can just mark this line and we'll look back at this as we go for the day, but we'll have to watch out for this 19,950. Nice drop there and a nice hold for the last hour. So yeah, I like ARM here, but I'm a little more cautious overall now on the market. So I want to protect the longs rather than try to catch the knife as it comes into it.
Yeah, you got to be nimble when catching that fast hands, that kind of thing. You got to be careful with it. Look, the reason, look, we'll get to NVIDIA in a quick second, but ARM I like as well. And when I tweeted out today, I posted both daily chart and then the 15. The daily chart, just to show what happened yesterday, bit of a miss. This 150 level, resistance to support to that bounce for the almost V-shaped recovery, then gap up. So previous support, 161.5 approximately. You had a rejection of that yesterday. You didn't quite make the move all the way back in. You only closed at 158. So I got an over-under for ARM today. Like if it holds the open above 161.5, looking longs that I think can take you at least to 167. If it fails, if it's underneath, I don't want to touch it. I feel like that's a wide gap that it has underneath that. And it's just an upgrade. And then NVIDIA, it's a very similar look. Maybe we get 117 today. It's been 3 days now, well, 2 days, and now this is the third. 2 days in a row, double bottom 117. Your top has been that 122.5. So obviously 117 is, I think, where you got to be patient looking for any kind of a bid today on a falling knife on a Friday. But if we break out this 122.5 on NVIDIA, it's been a good short 2 days in a row off of this, where you're just shorting lower highs or shorting off the open. But if it breaks that 122.5, that's a gap fill to the upside, and that 127 comes in. I want to thank K-Dub in the chat for a couple of super chats in here. First one, when you mentioned the menu yesterday, I know you did. You weren't talking food. You were eating those coins on the banks at the end here. And then Walgreens, 39 cents. Hey. Good looking Walgreens. Going to talk about them a little bit later on here today. And then it's been a weird week. If you could only make one trade today, stock in the 20s or lower range with 3K leverage, what looks good? I actually don't have any, like none of the ideas I was looking at today are in that range of price. Like maybe Amara and Walgreens, I'm looking for fade because it's going out of the NASDAQ 100. Like the only stock that's priced in that range outside, like the only two that I'm looking at, both would be fade ideas. Like Mara, if it fails 24, if it fails that previous lower high, I'd be looking for a short. And then Rivian, just like a continuation. This will load up in a quick little second. And then Rivian, very similar thing. Like Rivian, and ideally that 17.5 zone would be a fade, or pop and fade back into 17 as that's been trending down. So neither one of those would be classified as long ideas, but those are the only two stocks in that price range that I'm even looking at this week.
I just want to confirm we have, and I was right, it was Thursday, every other Thursday.
Yes.
For Raider Trader. So thank you for the super chat, every other Thursday, and he was not here yesterday. Next Thursday, Raider Trader will be
locked
on.
And loaded.
And so if you have any questions, hey, you can even, Mr. B. Davis here, because of that super chat right now, just post something else. If you want me to ask any sort of a question to Andrew, maybe get that ready, and we'll get that loaded for next Thursday for you. So, all right, let's go back over to the desk. It's 9:21.
All right, Broadcom, we got that huge move into the close yesterday. It's continued to rally after the close as well, up to 161. Pulling back in right now, but if you missed it, OpenAI in talks with Broadcom to develop a new AI chip.
Yeah, Brendo, they want to reduce their reliance on NVIDIA, kind of unsurprising there. They're They want to actually engage with Broadcom for chip design and secure the necessary resources for their AI models. They had previously explored building a network of semiconductor factories to address this chip shortage, but we all know what that's like. Intel trying to do that, building out the fabs, is a tough endeavor here, Brendo, so we'll have to see how this one does.
A lot of other things to look at this morning, so volume not huge here yet on Broadcom, guys.
Yeah, it's not a lot. The one thing that makes some sense is Broadcom's going to be in cybersecurity ETFs. So any spike that you might see in those, you're going to get something on AVGO. In the obvious levels, I'm looking at ARM and Nvidia today, mostly in the space. But Broadcom 159 looks like an interesting level. You had some resistance and some pivot the last 2 days in here, and if I was trading the stock, that's probably the area I'd be looking for. But I've got ARM up, and I'm going to have Nvidia up, and then like Meta. I already mentioned Mara, Rivian. You start to have a few too many names in there at the open if you're adding a Broadcom to it. So yeah, the 159 looks like a pretty good pivot. It broke out and continued off of that level yesterday. If it does dip down in, I think catching a falling knife on tech is tricky at the open the last little bit here. The drop and pop trade has not been the easiest one. You've really had to wait it out, but that would be the level I'd look for, if not just the bottom.
Yeah, so I didn't get to talk too much there about NVIDIA. Look, I mean, I like Broadcom. I think that's a name that at some point I want to get into. I really like the split. I like the way that's been acting. I wrote down NVIDIA here, 122.50 break long. So the way this name reacted yesterday, it closed at it was up yesterday, right? Closed at its highs, closed at pre-market highs. And it really worked into the afternoon. So I just wonder that at some point when you come after the king, and it's going to be red today, as we said, are a little bit nervous about where this market's going to open and how it's going to trade in the first couple minutes. But I really like a break. And I wrote down 122.50 because that's pretty much the high there right off the open. So you did get yesterday a pop and then a fade against the pre-market. That's what got me into AMD. And Pat back here was like, hey, that was a great little snipe there on AMD that we had yesterday. And I think we can almost do the same kind of a trade here again today. So yesterday we had AMD rip up, and then we shorted this 163 on the push back down here for advanced micro devices, right? And we had that short, and it was great all day. But as you can see, AMD was not like NVIDIA. AMD closed not on its lows. I mean, nothing really did, but AMD didn't get close to anywhere back when NVIDIA did. So if I'm thinking today we have an opportunity to go long on something, it's one of my best ideas, I think, for the long. I mean, I had that ARM, which I'm not convinced of, but it's Palantir long, and I think NVIDIA as well. Would love to get dip buy opportunities. Let's let this one settle down. If we get a pop into 122 and then we do not take that 122.50, then I think it could also be a fade back through there. So I really want to see that level break right here, 122.50. If we do it, then I think you can go long and then use, we'll talk about where at the bottom where we're going to get out, but probably 121.50, like at least giving NVIDIA $1. I mean, anything else I think is way too little. So we'll see regardless of your share size. All right, there goes NVIDIA right now, 120.50. They're coming to the downside. So the imbalances are now out. So there goes the NASDAQ. Look, man, the Spidey senses were up. I mean, I was like, hey, I'm not sure what's going to happen here today, but it looked like we were underneath the 50 period. We were holding that. We already had these highs. So guess what? S is not just for Superman. It's for sale. And right now, NVIDIA, Apple for sale. Look at all the big names here for sale. They're all the big tech names. Apple just cranked down $1. Microsoft for sale. Probably down $1 and change as well. Right there, Amazon for sale as well. We have one more story. I'm going to get to, a lot of people looking for plug. Right there, 180 downside. Google as well as sell. Intel is sell. All Tesla's a sell. So NASDAQ getting self-reweighted here into the open. There goes the NASDAQ. Man, oh my God, that's awesome. We did have that move. We did talk about that. So Siren's up, man. We were thinking about a little bit. It's stuck, by the way, right now.
It's so awesome.
It's so awesome you can't see anything.
Rid of it.
Those are stuck, Fabian. I don't know how to get rid of those.
Hit something else, maybe?
What did I do?
What
I hit
have
the
we
awesome
done?
button. What do you mean, what did I do?
Yeah, I mean, we had a button that we usually
right
do.
there, so-
The only buy imbalance is
You can see Neil, just
ABEV
keep
and
talking.
plug.
There we go.
Plug is
There we
one of
go.
the only buy imbalances on that indicator for a couple 100,000, which, by the way, we're going to right now. Plug power. Oh, no, yes, maybe, to the desk.
Possibly.
Bear with us. One of those days.
Yeah, it's Friday too.
Graphics are not even participating at this point. Plug, I know, yeah, a few people looking at this one. $200 million offering announced after the close yesterday. I mean, you and I were just talking, like, the high on this, if you go back to 21, was $72 and change even. It's $250 this morning. What a round trip.
It's a tough look. I mean, hopefully maybe some lighter interest rate environment gives them a bit of a boost here. They're still a speculative asset with an unproven system. Here's a look. They're offering 78.7 million shares of common shares at $2.54 a piece. It's expected to close around July 22nd of this year. Underwriters have 30 days to add more shares. The gross proceeds expected to be around $200 million, Brendo. Morgan Stanley taking the lead on this one with Canaccord and Oppenheimer as co-brokers.
Yeah, I mean, 15% on top of $3 here after getting hit pretty hard into the close yesterday. Ugly, guys, for Plug.
So down 15%, which means the short sale restricted, and at least there's a triple bottom 10% down from here if it manages to get there. So if it gets down to 25% down, $2.20, there you can see it. So SSR bounce, maybe that level. That's probably about it for me. If it breaks out, maybe there's a $2 bounce play. Something along those lines is the way that you'll maybe get me on the bid of Plug Power. Sideways action for the last. Look at the chart on Plug for the last little bit. It's like 20 minutes of 3 cents and trying to break out. So not a heck of a lot of action. If it breaks down, it'll have to be that 220. And it was. I mean, I don't know if it's still there. I saw it as a small buy imbalance. I don't see it there anymore. There's a lot of pairing has happened on some of these imbalances. Most of them are now gone. ASTI, the penny stock, is the only one over $1 million now. The Plug was there a second ago. We just got to be focused on the movers. There was a bit of a bounce when those paired off. When those imbalances paired off, a bit of a bounce there in Nvidia, so we'll keep our eyes on that. Mentioned Mara. Netflix is making a bit of a move to the upside, so it's actually breaking out now, Netflix. Yeah, that 640 bottom, maybe we don't get a chance to see that $640 bottom. So 2.5% now to the upside after getting smoked at one point. Netflix was down 7 points. But breaking back in, we only have 1 minute to go. Nvidia in play, ARM we already talked about. Apple we didn't really go over too much in depth, although I don't think Apple is at the front of my radar. It is still working to the downside. So when the things paired off, it looks like Nvidia is the only one that popped. I see Tesla still falling. I see Apple still falling. Nvidia getting a bit of a bounce going into the open. So we're locked and loaded. We're ready to go. We've got about 30 seconds until this open. And CrowdStrike, not to blame for our issues, but to blame for everybody else's. It's still hanging around under $300. Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, I still like that CrowdStrike in and around that 280. We'll see if we can get a chance to do that. Amazon, I mean, everything I've written down for shorts has already blasted through the level, so we just have a couple more minutes left, a couple more seconds left with exactly 10 right now on. See, you pushed the thing, right?
What did I do?
See,
oh, I did. It's not working.
Yeah,
Adara in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ring it. We went old school.
Yeah, a little bit of an old school ring right there. We'll wait to see what does happen here as the market's trying to make its moves. I'm already feeling a little bit of FOMO already, and it's already 9:30 because I am debating this Nvidia, right here at 120. We did have that sell imbalance come out, so let's see if we do get a push back into 119 a little bit here. Thinking I like this level for Nvidia, and might be worth a. Yeah, it might be worth a shot here. Let's try it. I mean, I'm going to try it against 119. If 119 fails right here, then so be it for Nvidia. Let's try again. I just bought some more. If we're going to be right, let's try to be right here to start. So let's go. So we had just bought Nvidia at 120.20, and we just bought a little bit more there at 49. So average price right now at 37. We're long Nvidia, trying to give this one $1 back down to 119. Let's just see if it holds. I mean, the market right now looking to slip up a little bit. There it goes. So remember, we did have that NASDAQ imbalance. So a lot of this just going to figure itself out. Yeah, I can't remember what else was on there. I mean, everything was on there, but NVIDIA was the largest.
It was NVIDIA, Apple, and I mean, Google was there, but it wasn't one of the biggest ones for the imbalances. Okay, Mara's trying to get through 24 for a pop and fade. It's not really moving this much. Kind of a lame move there, and a couple of names here. At the open, we're looking pop and fade on Rivian. Rivian's not going anywhere. Right back at those lows. What's ARM doing? Did ARM give the dip and rip?
All right.
Yeah, ARM is breaking through. Wow, okay. ARM is already breaking out a little bit here. Yeah, so ARM is going through the pre-market highs. I tried to get the dip into 161.50 when it came underneath, and the over-under was that price. Now it's $2 away. So the only thing going up is ARM with the market heading back in. So if you wanted to pop and fade shorts, like you have to be very patient here because the market's still fading off of those imbalances to the downside. So let's see what we can find to get into. Tesla made a bounce off 246, so that might be in play at 250. Let's go see what Tesla's doing. That's getting some acceleration. Bouncing off 246 one more time. Obvious level here at 250 for Tesla.
All right, so yeah, and an obvious mistake here. We tried this, but again, we're not into too many shares here. We are going to looks like lose here. We're long at 119.85 for NVIDIA. Yeah, and here it comes. The move is too strong with this one, right down there to 119. So I mean, worth a shot. I feel like taking a dollar hit, although never nice to do things like that. But you know, well, okay, we'll take a little bit out as it. Okay, I'll take a little bit out as it comes. All right. Well, now we're flat. I was gonna say taking a dollar hit. You never like that. But we did take some pain out there at 119.50. Actually, it was 119.60. So now let's see if NVIDIA wants to go back up to the upside. We're turning our frown completely upside down right now and smiling. So there goes NVIDIA. We are now up on the stock. So hell yeah, on that one, a good little take there. Yes. So far, so good. Not awesome being nervous about the stock, but we did call that 119 area. What a difference that would have made for my net if we had just waited for that. But it's a big trade right now for NVIDIA. We're long now at 119.50 as this name's starting to get higher. Look, we're well up, man. We're well up. We've already got a nice little area here for us as far as the net is concerned, but we didn't trade this one properly. We could have held this all the way back up. But again, taking a little nervous Nancy hands there as we were wondering about the play, right? And so obviously take something out, and now we have 2/3 of this position left for a decent little win here. Let's see if NVIDIA wants to keep on going. There's that Meta trade that I talked about, but missed. Good trade.
Meta broke 480 there, but I didn't get the fill on the way up, but on the way back down, I just sort of bid out in front of 480, got 39s. It just tagged 481. 27 is the high. Now 50 is the high. If it gets to 50s, if it gets to 85, that's an out. We'll show a daily chart or a 15-minute chart in a little bit. But I feel like I missed an easy opportunity at the open, which was just to short Walgreens at the open because it's coming out of the index, the NASDAQ 100. And obviously, you're going to see Walgreens just flushing to the downside.
Sir.
First available pop, I'm shorting Walgreens. That's simple.
Yeah, I like that trade. I can't believe we forgot about that. We're a dollar now in the money as well on this Meta trade. We talked about that. We sort of drew that chart out there for you, and it was right here. And it was Meta. Look at this. There's a little rocket ship. We talked about that one. There it is. It's a nice play. And there goes Meta. It is. I mean, look, we have $2 right now on these names. We have $1 on NVIDIA, and we have $1 on Meta. And there it goes. Hey, man, we've already got it. There it is. Our goal. We're up now. I said this yesterday at 9:36. I said, go to the damn beach. Well, if you want to go, you can. Right now, there's $1 in the money as the face slappers continue right there. What'd you say?
Huh?
Oh, Ramin, yeah, I know. I wish, Ramin. I mean, who else would sit here? All right, 120.44 right now. Nice little move going to the upside. Meta right now, $2 in the money. NVIDIA, $1. It is one of those days, Neil, where we props it up. There it is. It works, man. We talked about that Meta trade. We actually did some little cool emojis there. And then we talked about buying NVIDIA against 119. So there it goes again. What another day. It's 9:35. We like it.
Yeah, 9:35, and we've got the market coming. If the market stays green, Meta could see 490 today.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a big if. We're at overnight resistance levels.
That.
I think there's always a chance that we can still get a bit of a dip buy. Okay, Rivian's starting to come to the upside. I'm going to get my trail in on Meta, but let's go over to Rivian very quickly. I want to fade Rivian. I've said that there were two names I wanted to pop and fade. One of them was obviously Mara, actually three, because I wanted to get Walgreens Boots Alliance, but I might have just missed it. I missed it by 1 cent in there off the pre-market high. So I might move from 82 into the high 70s just to get in next time. So we're trying to short Rivian off of this close, 1690, and then back into 1650. Kind of a missed opportunity there, obviously, but we have to be patient. I'm not going to chase this one back into the downside. Thought we'd get over there quickly and be able to grab it, but nothing due on Rivian, and I'm not going to chase the move. It's not going to happen. The chop zone for Meta is right in here, like 483 to 485, and it feels like it's getting a little bit chopped up, 83 to 85. Damn it, Rivian.
All right. Yeah, I mean it's been quite a good one here. We're gonna wait. I mean Rivian, NVIDIA right there having a hard time with VWAP. It did not break that 50 period moving average. So yeah, when we said we go to the beach, we were up a little bit more than we are right now. Meta good out there taking the $1.50 or whatever that was, but it just stopped up there at 483. All right, what's up, Adara?
Netflix getting exciting here off earnings. NFLX currently trying to hold on to that 665. It beat Q2 revenue and earnings per share estimates, but they guided lower than expected for Q3 revenue, though there was a nice beat as well for net paid addition. So NFLX on watch as it tries to pick a bit of a direction here. Currently up on the day, higher lows, guys.
Yeah, good day for Netflix. By the way, CrowdStrike is still heading to the downside. Like, it might retest those overnight bottoms. I understand some people that track from like 6 a.m. or 4 a.m. You'll have like 270 levels and all that good stuff. I'm not saying that didn't happen. My chart's going to start at 6 a.m., so that's what you're going to see for the overnight bottom. So I understand 270 is a level as well, but 280 is what we're seeing for a bit of a bottom. Plug, probably not going to get there. Rivian, I was able to get some in, and then first available pop. Maybe this is it on Walgreens, so down 2%, but Walgreens with its first green candle of the day into VWAP. So this will be the first shot I take in Walgreens in front of VWAP in here. Coming out of the S&P, the NASDAQ 100, and going in is going to be SMCI, which we haven't looked at today.
All right, we are, we just took another one, so we got a little reloaded here on NVIDIA. We just bought some 73s down there on NVIDIA. I'll take something out if it gets back to O's. And by something, I mean like 5%. I'm just trying to scalp a little bit out. We talk about wanting to hold something when we put on a trade. I'm already looking at this 119 bottom. What? Oh yeah, that's when it came back up. Right, I was gonna say, well, we never got stopped out there, right? That was us getting out of some. But all right, so here we go. Let's see if it now wants, okay, good. We just got O's there, as you saw. Obviously, it's blasting through right now. Oh boy, as we go, man, we are now, Neil, 1, 2, $3 now in the money. I know you have this as well on Meta as it continues to go higher and higher and higher right now. There goes Meta, 484, baby. We talked about that 490. Let's see if that is right coming through. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day right now. Okay, good little reload there on NVIDIA. If you guys want real trading, I mean, I don't, it's kind of interesting that that's the name here. We have 2 trades on so far today. One is $3 and one was started by, again, this nice little graphic right here. I'm going to use this emoji a little bit more as there's the blast off through 479. We talked about liking this trade, and there it goes. It's a nice one through 479. There goes Meta, and there goes NVIDIA. I mean, Meta is such a good trade. Now $3. Maybe we'll take a little bit out as we continue to get higher, but I like the trade there. We saw the strength yesterday. We talked about this. This should have been the #1 trade there on the sticky note, but it was a good break of that 479 and still working out. I'm actually up more money on NVIDIA though, but you know, let's not count our chickens too much here. Let's get some more out on NVIDIA as we just did right there. So again, 2 huge trades for the show here today to start off with. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means a lot.
Yeah, great look. Meta, an absolute moonshot. I just got out when it rocked that 84 back and forth, and I'm now into ARM, but we missed the dip buy. Obviously, it would have been a good one to dip buy into that 161.5, but it made the dip. We didn't get it, and then it made the breakout. So I want to be looking long if it held 161.5. So we take the breakout on that trade. I'm into Walgreens short. We're into Rivian to the short side. But obviously, we're a little bit late to the story on ARM. CrowdStrike is absolutely moonshotting at this point. So I guess you've already got your SSR bounce on Crowd. I would have liked it off an even dollar level like the 280, but you're not going to get that at this point. So above 300, they pile right back into CrowdStrike. Good look for them. If you were going to buy that bid, it's a good company. It wasn't necessarily a security breach. For ARM, target 66, 165, probably 75 is what we'll try to get some out. And then you have 167 up top here, resistance for yesterday. If we get to that price, I want to be all out.
All right. I mean, Meta just touched 485, putting that $5. I mean, I'm thinking that we're getting pretty close right now, but we still have that 490 in our sights anyway. So here it is, nice little upside move. I mean, that right there, this little gap fill that happened overnight, that's 485. So then up to there, yeah, that's 490. I think we can get it, man. So I'm going to put an offer right now in case Meta really does blow up. And look, if this all comes back down, it all comes back down. Right now, we might be good enough right here. And we talk about lifting up trophies. We could get out right now and probably hold it, but we wanted to get a little bit more for this. Okay, yes, finally, guys, we finally did it. We said that we would hold something, and I'm pretty happy to do this, where we go top to bottom right there. We just had a 200. Look, I'm going to still hold on, see if we can get a little bit higher. These could all fade out. I mean, I don't know if the NASDAQ is going to make those highs. It might have been a great call there at that 485 for Meta right now. So I don't know. I kind of want to put it there to get out, but then if it runs through it. All right, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let's get going right now. Just 2 trades for me today. NVIDIA, and again, as discussed, right? It's not like these are trades that we weren't looking at. We just managed to have them. Meta was going to be a top play for us. It is a top play. And then NVIDIA was buying the dips, and we talked about that. I said I was getting FOMO with NVIDIA, and I shouldn't have. We should have just waited for that play. There it goes, man. All right, this has been a good day. So again, thank you for watching. Make sure you do hit that like and subscribe. Keep this show going strong. So NVIDIA right now, $2 on Meta, $1.50 on NVDA.
Yeah, my FOMO was going to be, it's going to be Walgreens. Obviously, that fade at the open, pretty distinct in there. We're first available pop. We got the short now off of VWAP, and we're also short in Rivian as the market just backed off the highs. So Rivian is right here with your close, 1690. It just backed off at 85, so we grabbed a little bit more. Gonna have the bid down at VWAP. If we get to the low of the day, that's 1640. Even I see you, Palantir, Johnny C in the chat. But I think if we're in Rivian short, got to acknowledge Tesla and $264 on Tesla. Sorry, 246, I should say. 246, brick wall, 3 days in a row. If Tesla is going to hold this level, I think you'll see that 250 break at some point. So the wick just came down 245. That's a 15-minute. And if we're going to hold on to this higher low, Tesla has a chance to run. If it breaks the bottom, I'm probably just going to immediately add to my short in Rivian if we get a good price. We're still in the mid-70s. So eyeballs on Tesla as it's trying to hold on to this 246. 3-day support. If it holds on here, I think you can get a bounce right back into VWAP. So that's going to be the look here for me on TSLA. Hold it. Some buyers just came in. Let's see if they psych me into it. 245.74. You can kind of see this lower high in here. If it's going to hold on to that lower high, play back into VWAP is going to be the name of the game for me on TSLA. So we got ourselves locked and loaded here. We're against the grain. It could not hold on, so we just jumped out of it. That does mean I'm going to add to Rivian short. So I wanted this bounce. It had to be clean and not make it to that bottom, because overall, that was one of the things I wanted to pop and fade. So I'll pop you back over to Rivian, have the level 2 over here, and all I see is weakness and holding out at VWAP. So we're going to add to it, giving it to 16.9, looking for the low of the day here at 1640. Walgreens Boots Alliance, WBA. I think I might just be doing this all day long, where every single fade, we're going to take it and then try to get out in front of the low. 1110, 1105, probably every 5 cents, we're going to try to take some profit on WBA. And the other side of that coin is going to be SMCI. And SMCI is going into the index, and you're seeing it power to the upside. It's not so obvious that this is just going to go up all day long, but I'm not going to be fading this name. I'm not going to be buying dips. I think it's easier to fade on the one that is weak, and the one that is weak clearly is WBA. Netflix is sinking as well. Meta, I do want to find a way back into it. I'm on the bid for a VWAP dip after that little rejection. If we can catch a dip into VWAP, we'll rejoin the trend to the upside. Adara?
This part of the show brought to you by VinFast. Breaking news from VinFast. They're building a state-of-the-art electric vehicle plant in Subang, Indonesia. With a $200 million investment, VinFast is creating thousands of jobs and bringing cutting-edge e-SUVs to the Indonesian market. Starting in 2025, we'll produce 50,000 vehicles annually, including popular models like the VF3, VF5, VF6, and VF7. VinFast is driving Indonesia's green transportation future. Join us on this exciting journey towards a cleaner, more sustainable tomorrow. VinFast, electrifying Southeast Asia, one vehicle at a time.
Thank you very much there, Adara. Looks to me like I was just hearing in my ear, pins, didn't catch the news, but pins with a huge move to the downside as that was flying like a buck up, buck down very, very quickly. But let's get on over to a couple of other things. Like we said, Rivian, VWAP, it just tagged it. I'm going to be looking to add underneath VWAP if I can. Thanks, Sean. I guess we didn't get that delivery after all for the coffee there, but
No, Rob's
fine.
going to London.
What? Oh,
Rob's not here.
Oh, he's not here. Okay, we asked Rob. Hey, good for him. He's going to London. I know you're going as well. Yeah. That's a company trip. I thought he was here. That's why I was asking for a coffee. But shout out to Rob. Oh, there goes Tesla. Yeah. Clean through 246. Oh, this is getting nasty on Tesla. I added to Rivian, and I feel like maybe we should just find a short under 246 in Tesla, as that one is absolutely going to the downside. Pins is falling. I just haven't heard the news story clearly. As I've been talking. I can't hear Benzinga very well when I'm talking in my own ear, but at the end of the day, pins going to the downside. I'm going to try and join Tesla underneath that support level. If it can't hold, it can't hold. And we just got to find ourselves into the short.
Pinterest is in a death spiral, someone's just said.
No, but I heard something, but I didn't actually catch it.
I don't know what it is, but there it is. Pinterest. I've never really liked this stock, but I mean, down 1.7% doesn't seem like it's that bad. So yeah, let's pay attention to that one.
I had this as a pandemic buy one.
Yeah. I think it's like Etsy. All right, so 485 came in again, but 484 came in, not 485. So we did have a level there to come through. So 484, 485 coming through on Meta. Again, I still think it's worth holding. Let's just check out what's been going on the names that we've written down. PLTR, we wrote this one down on our watch list here today to buy some dips again for Palantir. That's not enough for me to buy that, so we'll have to wait to see. You know, we've seen Palantir really get rocked off some of these levels, but right now it is starting to head down and it is red on the day. So I'm still waiting for that 27.75 area, a level that we've been buying up on Palantir for the last couple of days with huge success. So hopefully not hopefully it comes down there, but that's where we want to buy it if and when it does. Yeah, Tesla. And then the other trade that I wanted to do here was ARM breaking that 160 level, coming back into 160. We did not do that yet. So this could be another little bottom pick there if and when it comes through, Adara.
More details on that Pinterest move. We did get a short report coming in from Grizzly Research saying that they believe the company is, quote, in a death spiral and actively misleading and doctoring its, quote, terrible performance statistics. So PINS to the downside. They also do have earnings coming up the week after next. So Pinterest on watch here with this short report, guys.
That's not even moving that much. To be honest, it just bounced off $40 here. Like usually short seller report, I'm expecting to see some like double digits or some crazy nonsense. But yeah, it doesn't seem like that's all that crazy to me. So 45 just came in here on Tesla. That's now down 1.5%. I think that, look, the 46 level was the big break. If I show you a 15-minute chart, which we've done a couple of times, I think that's the line in the sand for Tesla. I don't know what the bottom is going to be on this name, but we'll go over to it when we can. If it breaks 46, I think you wait for VWAP in there. So that's moving to the downside. Pins still, if it breaks 40, you got to feel like that would get nasty if it breaks 40, but it's actually bouncing and threatening to take out the pre-market highs, which is a bit weird. So I'm calling that a nothing burger unless it breaks yesterday's low. Short seller report, you want to actually be doing something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's doing too much right here. We're just resting on our laurels right here. I mean, we've got NVIDIA trying to go back up to the highs. I mean, imagine what's going to happen here if this market actually starts to go. I mean, we're still flat. We're underneath the 50-period moving average, and we're already $3 in the money on Meta right now, looking to get higher. I don't even have any offers for this name. And then NVIDIA as well, no offers. So I don't have any offers anywhere here. So we're going to have to wait for it. We did mark down that Tesla was a short earlier today. That's right on here. We have Amazon short, Tesla short. That's it. Our longs were Nvidia and Palantir and ARM. So Tesla short was obviously cash. And then remember when we talked about CrowdStrike and we said that, okay, this 280, 285 area down there would have been something. It doesn't get that low. It only gets to 290, but that was it, man. Now CrowdStrike straight up. I was thinking about buying some of this, didn't do it, but CrowdStrike, nice little move. Oh my, oh wow, okay. Now it's Moon City, man. Just watch out. I'm not even looking short right now. We have monster trades. It's $4 in the money. Shout out to Hydration Nation right now. We're actually up a lot more though on Nvidia as that goes through 120, 150. Adara, give us.
This part of the show brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Tired of being late to the trade, always playing catch up in the market, missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else. Pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading?